Okay, I'm recording.
All right.
And I'm just going to pretend like we didn't just have a 15-minute conversation before this, where I gave you a tour of my desk and my
Right, I love it though.
and my rose quartz
Such a hippie.
and my tiger's eye.
Oh.
Anyway, welcome everyone. My name is Kim Hess. This is, I don't know what I'm going to call the show. This moment in history, the Kim Hess show. I don't know. I mean, men always name TV shows after themselves. The Johnny Carson show, the Jimmy Fallon show.
I mean, women too. You've got Oprah.
The Oprah Winfrey show. Okay. Arsenio Hall show.
But that's with Oprah, Arsenio, like you're Kim. It's not.
No, the Kim Hess show. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Sally Jesse Raphael. Do you remember Sally Jesse
the
Raphael?
red glasses. You loved her.
Yeah. You know who else I like? Ricky Lake.
You did like Ricky Lake.
Whew, I am aging myself. For you youngsters listening, Google it.
Ricky Lake.
I was on Sally Jesse Raphael show when I was in college.
No, you were on Jenny Jones.
Oh, Jenny Jones, right? See, I don't even. You know. But my comment was it didn't make the final cut. They deleted the comment that I had about some girl that was some guy that had two girlfriends, and I was probably talking too fast and wasn't making any sense. So
yeah, me and Mom were so excited. We're like, oh, we gotta watch it. I think we did see you in the audience though.
Yeah, I was in the audience. I was the very first. She just had me stand up. I didn't even ask to do a question. She had me stand up, put the mic, and then they cut me. I was devastated.
That was our only.
But I made a comeback with Wife Swap. Who I have you to thank for. But that's another show. Me
that's
being
a whole other. That's like 2 shows.
All right. So we'll just call it the Kim Hess Show. Welcome to the Kim Hess Show. My name is Kim Hess, and I have an amazing guest. I have been following this woman and her career and her life. I just can't get enough of it. I mean, as soon as I found out about her, I was like, this woman has to be in my life forever. So my guest is the phenomenal Michelle Hess, who is also my sister.
You've known me for about 40 years now.
we have known each other for about 40 years. Yeah. That's a long time to know somebody.
It's been a long time. So you found out about me.
So I actually just wanted to, because we talk almost every day. If we don't talk, then we text every day about the madness going on in the world. Before we talked about the good stuff going on in the world. Now we're just talking about the madness. So you send me things because I know people are going to give me backlash for this. I don't really watch the news. I don't really
get backlash. The better way to say it is you're unplugged.
I'm unplugged because I do. You send me everything I need to know from the New York Times, Washington Post. You sent me the Kanye West song that dropped.
That was Breslin.
Oh, that was Breslin. Mm-hmm. You sent me Beyonce.
Yeah.
The Black Parade, which I literally listen to 10 times a day. I'm not kidding. Every day gives me strength. But yeah, if it wasn't for you, I would just be lost in the world and not know what the heck is going on.
You'd probably be a happier person at peace without knowing.
Well, you let me know the things that are going on, so I appreciate that. But I definitely don't stay plugged. So since everything's been going on, you are my, what would that word be? You're my
conduit.
You are my conduit of all things news, politics. So thank you for that. And you also keep me calm when I go off after I read that stuff. So, I mean, I don't want to really ask you about this moment in history, like, what stands out the most, because it's probably too much to name. So I guess I should say, where do you want to start? Let's say from this week, any news that you've sent me, anything that you've read, anything that you've been talking about with your friends and family. what has stood out the most, whether that be something with the coronavirus or Trump or police brutality or Black Lives Matter or Starbucks? I know you like Starbucks.
Girl, I literally went this morning.
Now, I thought Starbucks was canceled because they and I don't know this much about this, but what's up with Starbucks and Black Lives Matter?
Honestly, I don't know. I need to find out. Starbucks has been canceled so many times just over the years.
Why doesn't Starbucks hire some Black people so they stop getting canceled?
But like now, I'm just at the point, I just like Starbucks, so I just go. Because everything that was canceled or everybody that did something, I'm like, I'm not shopping there anymore. I'm not doing it. And it's just, it's hard. I have to pick and choose which companies I want to support, and until I find a nice locally Black owned coffee shop in my neighborhood. Yeah, Starbucks. Right. Anyways.
And you're talking about your neighborhood, where do you live?
I live in South Arlington, Virginia. So I say South Arlington because Arlington is kind of segregated too, a little bit. It's all pretty much majority, it's pretty white, but North Arlington, it's got that stigma. It's, the politicians live there and, lots of money. And then South Arlington, it's kind of, it's like a few miles away from DC, super, super close. And, it's got a lot more diversity, a lot of your Latinx families, the Black people who live in Arlington. So yeah, I like it, but
So being so close to DC, do you feel like you feel the impact of politics a lot more than, let's say, me who lives in California?
The funny thing is, for me personally, yes, because that's what Tony and I choose. But
who's Tony?
What? Huh? What?
Who's Tony?
Oh, Tony is my significant other.
And who's Huddy?
Huddy is your, I don't even know what words I want to use to describe him. Huddy
magnificent.
How old is he now? He's 22 months old.
Oh, 22.
Son who picks up my phone and I think he's trying to call you. He picks up the phone now. I'll be like, hello? Hello? Yeah.
We got to get him saying Auntie Kim.
Right. He'll be calling you soon. But it's funny because I've lived in the DMV area for, has it been 5 years now or so? And I was just so disillusioned with politics and everything, and especially when Trump got into office. I worked in DC, like I could walk to the White House from my job. It's so close. And where I worked, our clients were politicians and literally worked in the White House. But if you choose not to be a part of that, you don't have to be, which is really weird living in this area. So I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want to talk about it. So it's actually easy to live here and keep yourself removed. But, Tony is so into politics. And you are too. Yeah, because it's good to stay informed and to know what's going on. You're a political science major. So.
But I have extradited myself away from that for the most part.
So living so close, when you decide to be a part of it or want to care, it's a little different because especially living in Arlington, Virginia, you can go out to eat and you see these politicians that you just saw do a briefing on TV. Well, before COVID-19, you would see them out and about. And
who have you seen? Who have you seen?
A lot. I don't know the names.
Okay, you just recognize them from CNN
Exactly. But
or
even
Fox News. I don't want to assume that you only watch CNN.
I love Fox News. Yeah, I just
You
took
better
off
be
my
careful
hats.
because Fox News is going to separate this clip and then show it on Fox News, and then you're going to be the next Sparkle
Candace
and Diamond.
Owens.
No, what?
Oh, Diamond and Silk. Is it Silk?
Diamond and Silk. I said Sparkle.
They close enough.
Can I be Silk?
Oh, do we have to get that gelled up hair? Oh,
I'm not gonna say anything about their hair, but
the weird thing about them, if you like Google them, they started off, they were Black Lives Matters YouTubers.
Stop it!
Yes. You will find old YouTubes. That's how they started. So I feel like this is just their little shtick to kind of be relevant. Like
they're making money.
How do you go from a Black Lives Matter activist to a Trump supporter?
Wait a minute. So if we Google Silk and Diamond and Silk, I can find Black Lives. They're talking about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
not Donald Trump. So how do you go from Black Lives Matter to like they are Donald Trump poster girls, women?
Yep.
I think personally they're getting paid, and yes, we as Black women should get paid for our efforts and our knowledge and our wisdom. But I think someone is giving them what to say and paying them. So Trump supporters, I think, feel a little better about being Trump supporters because they can look at these Black women just like Candace Owens and say, look, there's a Black woman that likes us. There's a Black man that likes us. I'm not racist. I have a Black friend.
Like, yeah, they vouch for us. Like,
I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry. I totally didn't answer your question. I'm going to I'll find something later and send it to you.
Yes. And then we can have another talk and we can watch then versus now. Because I'm not saying that people can't change, but this isn't people changing. This is the Trump administration saying, here's some money to be our token Black folk.
Do you even think that they're getting money?
Yeah. They say if you want the reason for anything for them, follow the money.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they do live streams. I saw that they were doing a tour.
Well, his event in Oklahoma, like they came out first. Like they were his opening act out there shucking and jiving on the stage. I was like, are you kidding?
Yes, they definitely got paid for that. Because who flew them out to Oklahoma? Who paid for their hotel rooms? Who gave them money to open? I mean, it's just like an opening act for a music group, right? You go and get paid.
True, they get paid.
Ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be mad at them. Maybe they are really deep down inside Black Lives Matter, but they like, we're gonna make this money.
I mean, that's one thing, like when you say like about this moment in history, like there's a lot of good things that are going on and a lot of hope that I feel, but you know, there's a lot of people like that I'm just like, how can you just totally be such a sellout to your people, like just for attention and fame? And even if you believe it, like what is going on deep down in you that you just like them, Candace Owens, I'm like,
and who did we talk about earlier today?
Above everything, I'm like, I'm Black. Like
Thank you.
You know, I love Tony and I try to be the best partner I can be to him. I want to be the best mom to Hudson. You know, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, but I'm Black. Like, I try to be a good co-worker, but I'm Black first. Like,
right. You can't erase that.
Yeah, for them, I'm just like, how do you? Yeah, I don't get it. I really,
right.
It just, whatever.
Well, what do you think? Is it Terry? What's the actor's name that you sent me you and Isabella were talking about his tweet.
And I used to love Terry Crews. I love Terry Crews.
Me too. Actually,
he's funny. He's got a great body, but no, he's canceled.
He was funny in was it White Girls? What was
White
that?
Girls, yeah.
Now we know that that character wasn't it wasn't a character.
I mean,
because he loved white girls.
Well, really, like, and I don't know if because you don't keep up with the garbage like I do, but
we all need some junk food every now and then,
right? It started with
the Me Too movement.
No, with Gabrielle Union. No, I'm talking about Terry Crews.
Yeah.
You did hear about that. That's when I was like, okay, Terry, like, come on.
And I don't know much about it, but I just know that when she had complaints against, was it ABC? On the show she was on?
Yeah, whoever does America's Best Talent or something.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And she was saying that she experienced racism and misogynoir, and he didn't back her up. But she backed him up during the Me Too when he said he was sexually harassed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Terry Crews' wife even in support of Gabrielle Union? But he wasn't.
I don't know. Was she?
I think his wife is a little more woke conscious than he is. I don't know where I got that from. But for everyone, let me read the tweets that me, Michelle, and our friend Isabella, we've been texting about the last couple of days. So this is from Terry Crews. And he wrote on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. Okay, that's good. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. Yeah, we do too.
Us too.
Love it. Sounds good. We must ensure hashtag Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into hashtag Black Lives Better.
Like, whoever said that? When have you ever heard Black Lives Better besides right now, him saying it?
I haven't heard that.
Right.
No one's even insinuated that. And who's to say that once Black people, our lives start mattering, that all of a sudden it's going to turn into we're better than everyone else?
Right.
We just want to matter. We just want to matter.
I mean, honestly, like at this point in history, we're not even asking to be on the same even playing field. We just don't want to die.
What is that comedian? He's on SNL. He's a writer, but he does the when they have like the nightly news portion of SNL.
Oh, Michael Che.
Yes, I love him.
I like him too.
He had a special. I think it came out a few years ago, but now it's circulating again. Excuse me, because he's like, it's crazy that we're just saying Black Lives Matter. Like, we just want to matter. Just matter. Just matter. We don't even want equal rights. We just want to matter.
Right?
We literally, I mean, how insane is that? Like, we literally just want to matter. We don't want to be better. We're not even asking for equal. And he joked, we just want civil rights. Just civil.
Yeah.
Just civil. It's so basic. It's so basic.
It sounds crazy. It's like, nobody said, give me more money than any white coworker I ever have for the rest of my life.
I should make $2 to every dollar. No.
Yeah, like,
I mean, that would be nice, but
yeah. But I want to be able to go to the grocery store and not get stared at, or Tony is a runner. He runs every day. Like every day, I'm like, when it was colder, there was like certain hats. I'd be like, no, don't wear that hat running.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Or let me take that off. Don't put your hood on, or you're wearing, like, put in your, AirPods instead of the big headphones because they're too big. Right. And
we police our own selves.
Yeah, like
daily, hourly.
I'm like, I make him take his license and I make him take his school ID. I'm like, show people that you're a principal, take your school ID.
I want to cry. And we think doing these things will protect us and our loved ones, but they won't.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I told you when Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman, and, you know, everyone was had the hoodies to protest George Zimmerman and the verdict that he got free, that Ivy, my oldest son for everyone, her nephew, who's 20 now, he was still in high school. I don't know if he was a sophomore or freshman, but he said he wasn't going to wear hoodies anymore. And if he did wear hoodies, they wouldn't be black. This was a kid stating that he felt that if he wore a certain article of clothing, that he also would be in danger. And it's true. And as a mother, as a partner, because your partner is a black man, you know, you are trying to protect him, just like I try to protect my children. You know, and Huddy is 22 months, you are already putting things in place to make sure that he's protected. But in reality, none of us are protected, not even you or me. Like, we literally cannot sleep in our own beds and feel safe. Like, I was listening to this podcast and this woman said she was a biker, just like Tony's a runner. She would bike around her neighborhood, and she lives in Florida, a black woman. She said, I stopped biking. She said, because I'm just going to stay at home because I feel safe. And then it hit her. I can't even be at home and feel safe.
Girl, like, speaking of that, because as you know, we moved from a very gentrified neighborhood. And, you know, now living in, you know, super safe Arlington and whatever, like, it's still, there's like nights I'm like, oh, did I lock like both locks? Because I keep thinking about the poor man who the woman walked into his house and shot him because she thought it was her apartment. I was
eating
like,
ice cream,
you know,
Breonna Taylor sleeping in her bed.
Exactly. I am like, I should not have to be, just this black mom worried about, you know, did I lock both locks? Because I don't want a white neighbor mistakenly walking into my apartment and killing my family because they think trespass. Like, it's...
Well, let's be clear. She was a white neighbor, but she was still a police officer.
Exactly.
And I won't get into conspiracy theories right now, but come on. Come on.
Right.
So going back to, we just want to be better, or we don't want to be better, and Terry Crews saying, make sure Black Lives Matter doesn't turn into Black Lives Better. I want to know who his PR person is, who his social media person is.
Well, I'm sure his PR person is somebody not of color, because
you said it, not me.
He's clearly proving himself to wanting to be so accepted by non-Black people. And I think he got to the point where he's like, I don't have to have these little parts in Wayans Brothers movies anymore. I'm a big star on my own. I want to stay here. White people give me these jobs. And, you know, it's you know, a part of me, a little, not a lot, sympathizes with him a little. You know, we definitely know what it's like to grow up with all white people, and you want to be accepted. You want you want to get along with people. You want them to like you. You want them to think that, you know, you're a good person, and you're trying to be an example for all your people. Okay, well, sit down and talk to me, and they think that I'm nice, or they think that I'm educated, or they like me. You know, maybe they won't be scared of the Black person that they see walking down the street beside them. So, and I'm sure in Hollywood, it's even a huge, bigger magnitude, because he's trying to stay working. And he, you know, because you got people like Colin Kaepernick, who he didn't even do anything. He just sat down on his knee, and now his career is over. So, you know, I'm sure there's a part of him that's like, I just don't want to make any waves, but he should just shut up he should just shut the hell up
Just be quiet.
Thing. So a part of me is like, oh, okay, I kind of feel sorry for you. You want to be accepted so bad that you're gonna say these dumb things, but I'm just like, I'm pretty sure his PR people aren't Black, and
or if they are Black, they might have the same mindset as him.
That's true.
Or as Silk and Diamond.
Or right? Or Terry Crews is like Trump and does not run his social media by anybody first and just does it.
If I was his wife, I'd be like, look, give me, before you hit send, I need to see everything.
You know, I'd be like, because you see this house? You see this pool that I'm about to go sit by? And I need to keep that.
I want to keep it.
I mean, not even about money, just your integrity, just as a Black man, like, you know, and not that there's
as a Black man that we know has experienced racism.
Right?
I don't know not one Black man that's like, oh, I've never experienced racism here in the United States. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know somebody, but I won't.
Who? Well, okay, so you don't have to say who it is, but I bet he's from Ohio, huh?
Of course. We will. We can talk about that offline.
So he says he's never experienced. Now, have you talked to him during all of this upheaval? And he still, what does he think about George Floyd?
Doesn't want to talk about it, really. Fine. His Black sons are fine. They have their education. They're continuing their education. They're fine. In our hometown where we grew up, they are okay.
Mansfield, yay yay. I mean, really, we grew up in Ontario, but we rep Mansfield hard.
Yeah, right. Because it's different than Ontario. Saying rep in Ontario.
Because we grew up in a township, for everyone that doesn't know.
Not that Mansfield's that much bigger, but no, he's fine. I mean, he's fine. He's got a good job. He makes good money. His kids are good. He's only ever dated
non-Black women.
Black women, and he's only had good experiences with those families, and no one. Yeah.
Wait a minute. He's only dated non-Black women, which I'm gonna venture also includes he's never dated any woman of color.
Well, it's Mansfield, so there's pretty much white and Black. That's it. There's no other culture.
I'm sure there is. We just haven't. I'm sure there is now, but when we were growing up, there wasn't.
Yeah, hopefully there is now. Hopefully.
Yeah. So, okay, so he's only ever dated non-POCs. I'm just going to go out on a limb. He's only dated white women. We'll just put it out there.
Okay.
And he is telling you that the white fathers, brothers, and mothers have been completely fine with their white daughter, sister, cousin dating a Black man. He's never had any pushback.
No, because let me tell you why. Why he thinks, not me. Because he was a high school and a college athlete, and they liked him because he played a sport. And his father is a pastor, so I guess that makes him a good Black guy.
Wow.
I'm not saying too many clues, so he doesn't know I'm talking about him. Because I love.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine that he knows that we're talking about him, because we're not saying anything that's not true.
No, love him to death. He's like, call him my brother. Love him.
Right. Maybe one day the three of us can have a conversation about this. I'll let you do the prep work, because I really want to, because I talk to people all the time, every day, that, you know, I'm right there with, like you and I. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. I don't know what I would do if you were a Trump supporter. I'd just be like, Shell, put the baby on the phone.
Right?
You'd be like, how? I'd be like, I just want to talk to
Can't
her.
talk, yeah.
So everyone that I talk to, for the most part, we're very much aligned, just like you are very much aligned to most of the people you talk to. So I'm really interested in hearing from people who don't, I think like me. I don't want to say think rationally. Because there's a reason that they think like this, and for any Black person that's been in America for more than a day, that says, literally a day, that says that they haven't experienced racism. Because I've traveled to different countries and experienced racism right away.
But he has not traveled to different countries.
Which even more
travel
so
outside of Ohio. So
it's, you know, people like where they live sometimes, but
that's fine. For me, I think that I try to use this as an example. Like, there are things that happened in middle school and high school, very, very small things that were said or implied, like, you know, no Confederate flags in my locker or anything like that. But things that now, as an adult, I think about randomly, and I'm like, that was racist as hell, but I didn't really know any better.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of weird. It kind of made me uncomfortable, but
made you feel bad.
I will never forget, there was this teacher, hate her. Anyways, it was my sophomore English teacher.
Oh, what's her name? I don't mind calling out.
Oh, Mrs. Carr. It would be Cindy Carr. She, I don't know if I must have got to class early, or I don't know why I was in there. Like, class hadn't started yet, and I was like one of the only people in class. And I was like getting my books out or something, and I was sitting at the desk, and like, I think I like scratched my eye, or I did something, and I had on like a short sleeve like dress. And like, I'm Black people, like, sometimes our knees and our elbows are different colors.
Yeah, mine are.
And she,
for any white person watching,
exactly, in case
we have different know.
Yeah. And she was like, did you get burned, or are your elbows just like a different, or did something happen? I forget the exact, but I know burned was in there. Oh, or is that just the color? And I'm like a sophomore, so I don't even think I had.
You're 15, 16, yeah.
And I was like, and I only remember I was a sophomore because I remember that's when 112 came out, and I was really into that album, and I was all happy. But like, I was like, and it was so awkward, and being like that age, I wasn't mad. I felt embarrassed.
Right. You were the embarrassed one. Not
exactly.
her.
And right. I was like, what? That's just, that's
something wrong with me. Right.
Right. And I grew up, and I thought about that. And now, being an adult, like on Facebook, you know, she's friends with my Facebook friends, and it's like, oh, my teacher and everybody. And like, she'll make comments on people's page, and I'm just looking at her page like, if this woman even knew the effect that she had by saying that one, she probably doesn't remember me or ever saying that, but like, I will never forget that. And I was just like, oh my God. So, you know, it's things like that. I'm sure he's encountered things like that maybe he just pushed out of his mind or didn't think about. I mean, especially as an athlete growing up where we did, like, I mean, I remember
dating white girls. Because they're girls, they're in high school.
I remember going to like away basketball games, like not even in high school, like middle school, being like a little kid, going to like games, like to see my friends play and stuff. And especially when you would play people like Clear Fork and
Fredericktown,
like that. I remember like Martin, that show was like really big at that time. And like people, you know, they like the little kids, they'd be like, oh, like Shanae, like, because that's the only Black woman that they saw was Shanae on Martin.
It was not a woman.
Exactly. And I was this Black girl in the stands just there to see my friends. And I'm like, this shit.
They would call you Shanae?
They would say it, yeah.
They would refer to you as Shanae.
Yep.
And see, my thing is, and this is why you and I always talk about representation so much, and I want you, if you're comfortable, to tell the story about Hudson, your son's bookshelf. But this is why representation is so important, because if white people only see one sort of representation of Black people, of Latinx people, of Polynesians, of whatever, like, this is why I'm so happy now that movies are coming out. I watch Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think there was one white person in that movie. I mean, maybe there was, but
yeah,
and I was fine with it. And then and like Fresh Off the Boat, I love that show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's so funny. And the thing is just having representations of people, because typically, you know, Black people probably have the biggest representation, but me and Joseph, my partner, we're sitting here thinking about how Black people are usually represented one way in movies, where most likely never the big star, like it's coming, but for such a long time we were like the auxiliary character, or we were the cool Black friend, you know, and it's obviously changing now. But if a Black man, it's usually a Black man, is the star, then everyone else in the movie is non-Black. Like you can't have an all Black action movie with all Black characters, or even majority Black characters, or even 2 or 3 Black characters. Like everyone else has to be white.
Because then it's, you know, a Black movie that, you know, it's labeled.
It's a Black movie. It's automatically a Black movie. And then we were talking, you know that my partner is Polynesian. He's half Guamanian. And so I was really looking at all of the movies that represent Asian Americans and Asian, it's AAPI, Pacific Islanders. And, you know, The Rock is half Pacific Islander and half Black. I don't think a lot of people know that he's half Black, but he is.
I think so. I mean, I think he makes a pretty good point of letting people know
now. But I remember when he came, I think he produced a movie about police brutality or Black Lives Matter. Sorry, The Rock. I'll definitely find that and watch that today.
Don't talk about Dwayne. You
know, I love that man. You know, I got my own Asian bae. But oh yeah, like on Insecure, how they have Asian bae, how they have an Asian love interest. But I know when The Rock came out talking against police brutality, I was reading tweets and his fans were like, what does this have to do with you? Why are you concerned about this? Remember? Yeah, and I was like, do these white boys not know that he's half Black?
But I'm just like, how are you a fan and you don't know? Like, if you're a fan of The Rock, like, then you know who his family is, and you probably grew up watching him wrestle, and you probably grew up watching his dad and his fathers, but you so you know there's but maybe not. I guess they didn't know.
Maybe not. Yeah. And even if he wasn't half Black, why can't he still be concerned about police brutality? We should all be concerned about police brutality.
You should all be concerned.
Because the police out here killing everybody.
Shout out to Chelsea Handler.
Oh yeah, they out here killing. So white people, Trump supporters, all y'all need to be concerned, because there's nothing, you know, more disproportionately, we as Black people are definitely more terrified. But yeah, our police system is crazy. It's very military. And I always wonder, they have tanks. Who are they? They're not protecting us. They're fighting against us.
Exactly.
And we're the citizens that literally pay their salaries, and we're paying for these tanks. But I digress. I am happy to see the inclusion in Hollywood of not only Black people getting more prominent roles, but Pacific Islanders, Asians. Now I'm waiting for Native Americans, because I couldn't think of one show that featured an Indigenous person in a positive light. Because sometimes they will feature people of color, but it's always negative. They're always some sort of evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching, and really quick, and then I want to get back to Huddy's bookshelf. I was watching Zoolander the other day, because you love Adam Sandler. No, you love Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. I do love Adam Sandler. I do.
Okay.
I love Ben Stiller. Yeah,
But I think it was Zoolander where he's the Israeli CIA, or he's the Israeli spy. Have you ever seen that?
Zoolander, the model movie?
Oh no, it wasn't Zoolander. Zohan.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. But basically, in the movie, he's representing Israel. Is
Ben Stiller in that?
No, it's Adam Sandler. It's Adam Sandler.
Okay.
And he is a spy, but there are all the people of color in the movie are like, Lebanese, but they're trying to attack Israel. And it's a comedy movie, but I'm looking, number one, at the propaganda. Looking at the propaganda between the United States and Israel. But all the bad guys were dark.
Wow.
And I was like, so when are we going to have an Indian man? And it's coming. It's coming. But I want to see Indian men as the main love interests that would do roles that Tom Cruise does. Or I want to see a Black man in a role that doesn't involve him in prison, overcoming a gang, being in the South and getting spit on. I would just like to see a Black man, let's say like Tony, that has a nice family and a job, and he just lives a good life. Like, why can't I see a movie like that? Because during these troubling times, I've been looking for movies that feature Black people or non-white people that are living a good life, which is why I watched Crazy Rich Asians. But other than that, like, we started watching Cadillac Records yesterday, which is a great movie, but there's so much about segregation and racism, and the white manager stealing half their stuff. So many movies featuring Black people talk about it. They're from the hood. Their mom was a crack addict. They're in a gang trying to get out, and I'm just like, can I just see a movie? Like I've been watching Sex and the City because this is pretty. There's nothing to trigger me. Of course, there's no Black people in Sex and the City.
No.
The one episode I did see with the Black person, Samantha was ogling this Black baseball player because of his junk. But not even Samantha. Why was it a Black man that she was ogling for his penis size? And that was the only Black person I've seen since. They don't have any Black girlfriends, and in the movie they were like, okay, we got to change this.
Jennifer Hudson. Yeah.
But when was Sex and the City come out? Was it the 90s? It wasn't that long ago. So anyway, and that's why I love Insecure so much, because I can see myself. I can see an Asian love interest. Oh, that man is so fine. I don't know his name, but I love Asian bae. I joked that I told you, like, I got my own Asian bae. But anyway, I digress.
I told you Asian bae is Australian.
Yes, and he has a Black girlfriend in real life.
His name is Alexander Hodge.
Hi, Alexander Hodge. I love you. Good
you
job.
Have beautiful hair.
Huddy and his bookshelf. I went on that long rant about representation because the story always jumps out to me about the bookshelf that you and Tony have curated for your 2-year-old.
Aww, he loves books. Thank God. I just think, growing up, being a book lover because mom loved books and always read to us, and then me having an older sister, I would try to read what you read. So just big. And now, you know, all of our little books, you know, they had white kids in them, white families, white people. And now in this day and age, you have choices. And that's like amazing to me, because we didn't have those options. And, you know, knowing that I wanted my child to be a reader and love books, which is why we named him after James Baldwin. But it's important to me that he sees people like him. So, you know, he knows, you know, I'm a little brown boy, and that he's not embarrassed by that. So when he goes to school, if a little white classmate, you know, touches his hair and wonders why it feels that way, or, you know, why his nose is maybe wider, I just want him to know that he's handsome and he's loved and that he's perfect, that there's nothing wrong with him. And that was the start of it for me. And, you know, when like Hair Love came out, I'm like, oh my God, if we would have had that, like if I would have been a little girl, like knowing that like it was cool to have natural hair and, you know, to look the way that I did, like that just would have done wonders. And so, you know, buying books with like brown people, and then realizing like, okay, cool, I need him to see himself, but I need him to be respectful of other people and other cultures too. So, you know, I think we definitely try to make sure that, you know, he's got books with, you know, white and black people in it, and that he, you know, especially like growing up where he is. I mean, the elementary school in this area that I used to work at is very, very, very diverse. Very, I mean, like, you know, like there's like diplomats' kids go there, and you know, like there's a bilingual resource assistant that helps families, speaks Aramaic and Amharic, in Arabic. So, you know, like there's just this whole world that we didn't grow up with. Like I didn't even know about Caribbean people, like Trinidadian, Jamaican, Guyanese, until I was an adult and like moved to New York.
Me too. Yeah.
Just for him to grow up and learn about, I just don't want him being like, okay, Christianity, that's it, and God, and
white and black.
He's gonna have friends that are Muslim and maybe some that are Hindu, and it's important to me. I just want him to be very open-minded and just
Well, and I think that, you know, if you look at your bookshelf and Huddy's bookshelf, most of the authors are Black, right? And I think a lot of white people would question, like, oh, why are all the authors Black?
Well, like I told you, when I was pregnant and was doing my baby registry, I had all these baby books with like, you know, like Chocolate Me and all these little baby books for Black kids. And some white woman who was supposedly a friend, who she was just like, oh, like she tried to make a joke like, oh, all the books are, you know, of Black people. Like, and I'm just like.
And most likely she never would, not most likely, I would bet, I would bet money that she wouldn't say that to one of her white friends who had a registry of books with little white girls or little white boys or white authors, because that's her world.
It would just be, you have baby books for your baby. Yeah.
Right.
But me, it was
because she doesn't have to worry about representation for her kids.
Well, she does, because she has a Black husband and Black kids, but we won't get into
it. What?
Girl.
Wait, back up. I just assumed, you know what they say about assuming, I just assumed that her children were white And that's why she didn't know about diversity, because her world was white.
No, her husband is Haitian American, and
so why, I mean, so this leads me to conclusions. Does she have no Haitian authors for her kids? Does she have no Black books about being Black in America for her kids?
I wonder. I don't know. I would hope, unless she leaves that up to the other side of the family to do that, which is ridiculous. But
wow, that put a real twist in that story.
Makes it worse, right? Yeah.
It makes it worse, because then, you know, you have to question children as hers that are growing up biracial, or they're growing up with white parents. They may be a person of color, particularly Black, but have white parents. How intentional these parents are about having their kids be proud of who they are, in teaching them about themselves.
Exactly.
Right? So, which you and Hudson are doing. And I know that if one of you were of a different race, then you would definitely bring that to the table.
Right? All I can hope, I mean, and back to like this moment, I'm feeling hopeful.
Okay. Now, why are you feeling hopeful?
I feel hopeful because I just think that there's more people out there who are unaware and want to do better than we think. Like,
okay.
I feel like I have just become so skeptical and kind of jaded and like, whatever. And it is what it is. But you know, because obviously I still experience racism every day.
Every day.
But I feel like there's more conversations being had. And I think that maybe, you know, more people that aren't people of color, you know, that it'll just be more intentional to learn or just to stop and think, you know, if they're going to make a comment or if they're going to make a judgment when they see a Black person on the street. You know, I don't know how long that this moment is going to last. I hope it's not, I pray that it's not just some passing little like fad and like the end thing. I hope that, you know, because, you know, for me, it's just like, I can buy Hudson, you know, like I just bought him this doll of this Indian boy.
Nice.
Him just to know and see like everything. And I'm like, you know, if I'm a Black mom and if I'm making sure he, you know, knows what an Indian is, not a Native American, but, you know, like an Indian is, and, you know, Asian and all these different cultures, like I hope that there's white people out there doing the same thing for their kids. And,
right.
You know, hopefully by the time just a couple years Hudson gets to kindergarten, maybe the world will be more tolerant. And I mean, like, for instance, so I was watching a school board meeting, because that's what Tony and I do now.
Nerds.
Well, we work for the school system.
Yeah. And it's actually good. So, I should know about school board meetings. I should know about school board meetings too.
But
can we give a shout out to Tony really quick?
Hey, babe.
Oh, well, he doesn't have to be on it if he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
But congratulations. He's like, well, because you said Tony is now only the second Black principal for a particular,
Yes, so he is
in 95 years, did you say?
The second, yeah. First black man, but second Black principal ever. And yeah.
Bravo, good job.
Which, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but just, I was reading like the Wikipedia page, and, you know, it has like noted alumni. And then if you go to our school's homepage, Wikipedia, it has the same thing. So for us, the notable alumni was, your friend's brother who played for the Pittsburgh, the baseball team.
My
Wilkins.
friend.
Your
Who's
friend's
my friend?
Wilkins. Last name Wilkins.
Oh, Will?
Wilkins. The last name is Wilkins. Stephanie, you were on drill team together or something.
Oh, for our school. I thought you were talking about the school that you and Tony currently.
Well, I'm going to get back to that. But for our school, our notable...
Oh, for our Ontario high school. Okay.
It was him. And it was only two.
Wait, did he play professional
baseball?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played professional baseball.
Okay.
So there was only two. It was him and then I forget her name. It's whatever. And it was like, so-and-so, assistant to Kim Kardashian. I'm like, that makes you a celebrity? Okay.
Oh, man. A notable person getting Kim Kardashian
what?
Coffee.
I'm like, okay. But Tony's school, his school is so old. Warren Beatty graduated from there.
Wow.
McLean, Sandra Bullock.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to think of who else. Was it Katie? No, Katie Couric went to a rival high school. But anyways, point is,
First black man principal.
Right? 95 years.
It's 2020.
2020. So we were watching a school board meeting and they were having like this town hall on like equity and race and diversity, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
And they had the mom, I think she's like the head of the PTA, like all the PTAs for the different schools. And I was really, really impressed. I need to reach out to her and write her an email. But I was really impressed with this woman, white lady. And, I think she has kids in elementary school. And she was talking about how, she had questioned herself and like what she could do in this day and age and, to be, a better person and, how to understand people of color and how to teach her kids. And she said she joined the NAACP.
Great.
And, there was just a lot of, she went out of her way. She did a lot. She joined organizations. She bought books. It wasn't just like, okay, there's this random black mom I know in the PTA. Let me ask her a question because she's black.
Right.
Right. She did the work. So that was kind of like a little for me that I was like, wow, that gives me hope because her kids will grow up with Hudson and that just all it takes is just a few change makers.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Bravo to her. And I'm really glad that you brought that up.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've been chatting a while, so I'm going to let you go relax before Huddy gets home.
Now we're going to go for a run, I think.
Okay. Well, be safe and have a good run. I'm probably going to go eat some toast. But what do you have any closing words for all of us before we end? Just about this moment in time, like everything that's going on. I love that you're saying that you're feeling hopeful because then that makes me feel hopeful.
I am. And, I think the kind of frustrating part with it, but not like I'm hopeful because as my whole life, I think about my nephews first. I always think about them and just what kind of life and future that they're going to have. Even though they're getting older, they're still a lot younger than us. So if they can experience just, a better life than we did and not experience some of the hurtful things that we have. And then I think about Hudson, of course. So, I feel hopeful. And if they can, live in a world where maybe one day they're not scared of the police, that's great.
Right.
That makes me happy, but also it's a little frustrating because, as a Black woman, my first thoughts are always my nephews and my son, and which it should be, because
Right.
moms and we're nurturing, but as a Black woman it's tiring because we're always thinking about other people. Like, so when I say
Always.
I don't really know if I'm hopeful for anything about me and you and our life. I'm just hopeful
Yeah.
boys and the Black men in our lives. So
Right.
hopefully maybe we get to a place of healing and understanding, and then maybe somebody will care about Black women. Hopefully. So that's kind of where I'm at in this. Like, I'm hopeful, but I'm still like, okay, I'm still like, let's do this. But like, I don't forget us. Like, we're here and
Right.
care of everybody forever, and we're tired and we're depressed, and we just need somebody to take care of us too.
Right. I completely agree. I
I know
completely agree.
you
All
know,
right.
poor Breonna Taylor. It's been what, 110 days or so? Totally love what's going on with George Floyd. I love that Elijah McClain is getting attention.
I didn't even hear about that until
Didn't even know.
recently.
Didn't even know. But I mean, but hers was recent. So like, where's all that?
This year.
Right?
Right.
And I'm just
Right.
like, not taking anything away from him at all, but like,
No, because we want justice for everyone.
energy. Exactly. Same
But
thing.
like you said, where's the justice for Black women or the 800 Black girls that were missing last year? Don't quote me on that stat. It's yeah. Or all of the Black trans women that end up dead and missing, and people are just like, I know the police aren't looking for their killers.
Right.
So once again, going back to Terry Crews with his, don't let Black Lives Matter turn into Black Lives Better. I see that as an impossibility with the way that systemic racism is set up. Black lives can never be better. Not the way that America's set up. Not the way that the world is set up.
Right. I mean,
even if we wanted it to be.
Like, yeah, if that ever happens, I mean, it's just gonna take centuries.
And once again, I don't know how that's gonna happen, because we are not in power of the systems of education, of government, of housing, of financial. We are not in charge of the system. So you let me know how. Even like, I love when I hear white people say, well, Black people are the majority of the NBA or the NFL, and I'm like, yeah, but who owns that? We're just workers.
Thank you.
We're just workers. Just like if I work for Facebook, I'm not Mark Zuckerberg.
Thank you.
I gotta punch in that time. Or if I work for, if I work in a Starbucks, I don't own Starbucks. I'm just a barista. I'm not making policy changes and telling people where money goes and
but we should
get hired.
We shouldn't care about getting killed on the street for no reason, because in their minds, we've had Barack, we have Oprah, and we should just be happy. We've made it. Those people, it's just like, yeah, I just always, like, Tony said to me once that he doesn't know when or what, but God has something for Black people. He's got to. And he said he just keeps about to cry, because I'm just like, I hope that's true. Because he's like, we have been through so much as a people. He's like, God has to have something for us. He's like, we may not see it. Hudson may not see it. Hudson's kids may not see it. But I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's in heaven when we get there, or in your next life, whatever you may believe.
Yeah.
It's like, geez.
Because it really is, and for any of our white audience, I feel like Black people aren't able to really convey how hard life is sometimes dealing with racism, because life is already hard, no matter what race, religion, man or woman. You know, the Buddha says life is suffering, right? But particularly for Black people, and I can only speak to Black Americans, but, you know, I'll say Black people throughout the world. It's hard. It's hard not knowing if if that person is following you around the store because you're Black or because they're just an asshole.
Right.
Yesterday, I was at Sprouts and I was getting salmon, and the deli clerk was a little brusque with me, and he literally threw the salmon at me. Like, he didn't hand it to me. He just kind of threw it, and it slid across the counter where you get it. And I literally stopped, and I was like, I literally did this in Sprouts. I was like, and he looked at me and walked away. And so as a Black woman, I was like, is he having a bad day? Is he just a jerk to everyone? Or does he not like Black people?
Right.
And then, you have to tick through, oh, well, I was nice to him. I said, thank you. I said, please. I don't understand what I did. Mm-hmm. So is that guy just a jerk? Am I going to have one of my white girlfriends go in and order some salmon to see what happens? But it could have just been a bad day. Like, maybe his partner just left him. Maybe he had to work a double shift.
Or maybe he believes all lives matter.
Or maybe he believes all lives matter, blue lives matter.
Give you your salmon.
And I just looked a little too happy up in Sprouts getting salmon for my bougie
Or maybe he was going to take home the leftover salmon and you got the
right? And we just have to laugh to keep from crying, because it bothered me for a good 10 minutes. I was like walking around the store like, should I talk to the manager?
Yeah, and white people don't have to think about that. They can just go Karen. Oh, he was just rude. Let me speak to the manager.
Or they would just be like, he's just a jerk, or he's having a bad day, or they wouldn't have even registered it. We register all of these microaggressions, and it builds. It's just layer after layer after layer. So when you turn 46, like you had mentioned earlier about being cynical, and I was like, you have every right to feel like that.
Right.
So when you see happy Black people, I think like you and me, that is almost a miracle, because what we have to face, even if we aren't facing it directly, we see it, because the media loves showing a dead Black person. They love it.
Right?
Love it. And we got to ask ourselves, why is that? But let's not end on the media loving to see dead Black people. Let's end on the hope that you have in what your partner Tony said, that there's something better. There has to be, because we have gone through so much work. It's like if you work out in the gym every day and you don't get to eat cake for a year, then your body's gonna be all ripped up. I'm like, God, I'm ready.
Are you comparing systematic racism, slavery, civil rights movement,
redlining, lynching,
not eating cake?
Yes, and I stand by that.
Okay, what kind of cake are we talking?
We're talking about, for me, it's going to be a white cake with white icing, like wedding cake.
Oh, you and Dad like that wedding cake.
Oh, I love the wedding cake. Yes. But for you, it would be like red velvet.
I don't like red velvet.
I thought you loved red velvet.
You just assume all Black people like red.
I mean, we like red Kool-Aid, so why not red velvet cake?
I do not like red velvet cake. No.
I thought you liked red. Grandma didn't always make you. Oh, she made you German chocolate cake.
Yes.
Now, do you still like German chocolate cake?
German chocolate cake is still in my top 2 of favorite cakes, but the new one is that French cake, the Fraser cake.
Oh, the bougie one.
With the cream and the strawberries, yeah.
The bougie one. Look,
gotta
we
like
started
live.
from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom. You like, German chocolate is fine, but now I like the French frigeur cake
I
with
mean,
fresh berries.
sitting around eating red velvet with some watermelon and a piece of cheese. Thanks.
That does not sound like a bad day to me at all.
But I hate. Me and Tony just talked about this yesterday. I hate watermelon because we were in the store. Like,
yeah, you're allowed to hate watermelon. I love watermelon, and I love fried chicken. I said it. It's on record for the work. I love fried chicken and watermelon. But who doesn't? Who doesn't like fried chicken?
Right.
Or watermelon, except for you.
But remember, I sent you, it was like maybe a couple years ago, that article on why Black people have such an affinity toward watermelon. Because I think that's like...
It's cold and refreshing. It's hydrating.
Well, no, that's all they gave us.
Oh!
Like most of the food, we got the scraps, but I think like watermelon seeds, and it became like a delicacy for Black people. It was like, oh, watermelon, and it just kind of and then it became.
I didn't know that.
Type,
I thought I had read somewhere that just because it was hydrating and refreshing. I mean, not that white slave owners were like,
cared about our hydration.
Let me get these enslaved people who I don't consider human. I want to make sure they stay properly hydrated with the
Galway over there looks a little dehydrated.
No, it's Toby, because they took our names.
Toby, that's right.
Toby and Kim.
Can you go check his electrolyte level?
Tell him he needs to rest a little bit. He needs to rest. Get his blood pressure down before he gets back to work in the field. Once again, people, we have to laugh to keep from crying. That's
why Black people are comedians. You have to laugh.
You have to laugh. All right, sister. Well, thank you. This has been fun.
Yeah.
So now, are you going to come back to the Kim Hess show?
I mean, you're my sister. I think I have to.
No, I mean, you can say no. You could be like that special guest that comes back repeatedly.
Oh, like who was like Conan O'Brien's sidekick? Oh, Andy Richter.
Oh, well, no, you're bigger than a
every
sidekick.
Day.
Yeah, you're bigger than a sidekick. You'll have to be a special guest to impart.
I want to be like. I don't even have to come on. I just want to be how like Arsenio always used to talk about how much he loved Eddie Murphy.
You just want me to talk about how much I love my sister? Well, exactly. I can do that.
I'll be like, okay, Arsenio, we get it. Eddie Murphy's your best friend. We get it.
I'll be like, yesterday, me and my sister, we went shopping.
Be like, okay.
Or what if you could be like the special correspondent, like on the Dave Chappelle show, how Paul Mooney was on there?
Oh, I love Paul Mooney.
Well, you know, Paul Mooney, there was some controversy around him.
Oh no, what'd he do?
Yeah, I'll have to look it up, and we'll have to talk about it on the next show.
No.
I forget what it was, and I it didn't stick out in my mind.
Remember when we saw Paul Mooney at the Ghetto Safeway in San Francisco?
Wait, what?
You don't remember anything?
Oh my God, my memory is so bad. Probably because of systemic racism.
We went to. I shouldn't call it that. We went to Safeway.
We went to the Safeway,
on
the number
Fillmore.
one Safeway in San Francisco that has the most steps. That's what the boys told me.
Oh, but yeah, we were like walking in or out, and like Paul Mooney was like coming in. He was with some people, but he was like going grocery shopping.
How we always see famous people. Remember we saw Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, we were.
I wonder if they were there at the same time.
No, they were different. Those were spaced out. But yeah, because remember we were walking down the street and we were like, "That's Dave Chappelle," and Ivy was like, "Dave." He was just he had nodded and kept going. Like,
man,
cool.
See, and now I wish I was who I was now, because I would totally go talk to both of them. Like, look, can I talk to you for an hour? I want to have you on the Kim
They'd
Hess
be
show
like, an hour?
with my sidekick, Michelle Hess.
They'd be like, I'm famous. I don't have that type of, but maybe, I don't know, maybe Dave Chappelle would give us a couple minutes because he lives in Ohio, so we could bring out the.
So Dave Chappelle, if you're listening, can you please come on the Kim Hess show? How awesome would that be to be able to talk to Dave Chappelle like this?
I would not be able to talk to Dave Chappelle. I think I would just the whole time be like, oh my God, you're so awesome. You're so awesome. I mean, because just, like as a comedian, he's hilarious. Yeah, he's Dave Chappelle, but then just, like the stands that he takes and the things that he has to say, like, oh, he's amazing. Yeah, I don't think I could talk to Dave Chappelle, but I'd sit there with you.
See, and once again, I'm sorry, going back. What'd you say?
I said he's all like swole now, like Dave been working out.
Yeah, I need to get on Dave's workout plan.
Right.
But, and I don't know if it's a money thing where you just feel comfortable, but look at like Jay-Z and Beyonce, everything that they're doing. Look at Dave Chappelle, like they are not afraid to stand in their Blackness, unlike Terry Crews.
I was gonna say, what about Terry Crews?
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a money thing. Maybe once you make so much money, you're like, I don't care. I can, kind of like Kanye, I can say whatever I want. And maybe
not about money, but about the power, because like at this point, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're not fighting for record deals and
concerts and
Dave
but
Chappelle,
also maybe it's
Dave Chappelle literally put on a concert in like his backyard in Ohio, and it's like on like Netflix. So
I love it, but I want to encourage everyone listening that you don't necessarily need to have a lot of money to create the things that you want to. Kind of like me, this is the reason that I wanted to do this platform, so all the people that I know and talk to are able to have a platform to say what they want to say. Because how many of us get interviewed unless we made it or we're somebody?
Yeah. And I also don't think it's fair to celebrities either to pressure them to say something.
Right.
Because you just may not be woke. You may not be, or you just may want to be quiet. You may not be that type of person. Like how Dave said, like Don Lemon, like called him out and other celebrities. And you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Cruz, just shut the hell up.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have to, but then on the other side, we should be pressuring celebrities not to say things that are going to be detrimental to the work that other people are doing.
Yeah, like I get it. Everybody is not going to be Muhammad Ali. I get it.
Right.
But like you said, don't hurt the work that others are trying to do.
Right. And on that, we're out. Give my nephew a kiss.
Aw, his bad stuff. Okay.
Okay.
I love you.
Stay on. I'm just going to stop the recording.
Okay.